everyone, I'm Angela and this is Resell Bloom. I'm a stay-at-home mom and part-time reseller on multiple platforms, and today I have a what sold video for you. These are going to be sales from September 1st through September 7th, so let's dive right in. My cat has the zoomies, so if you hear him, I'm sorry. All right, so this first item is a Construct men's knit button-down short sleeve top. It was new with tags. I got this from a Goodwill Blue Box order, and if you don't know what that is, you should Google Goodwill Blue Box and it'll bring you to their website. They do drops, I believe, every Friday, and you can buy a mystery box of items in a specific category. So this one was in a men's clothing category, and I have purchased 2 boxes from Goodwill Blue Box, and I probably won't do it again unless it's for an experiment. I don't feel like the cost of goods per item is worth what you pay for the whole box, but that's just me. So the cost of goods for this top would have been $9, and I just feel like that was really high for something that sold for $13.99. It did sell on my 30% off sale, but this was listed back in January, so it took a while to sell. I'm really happy that it finally did sell. This next sale is a cut loose women's light blue high-rise straight leg pants. These are Y2K, they are from the 2000s. I got these from a vintage store buyout that I did. There was a clothing store that sold a lot of vintage items that was closing in my local area, and they ended up actually reaching out to me because they know that I do cleanouts, and I bought, I think it came to like 25 bags of vintage items. A lot of them were new with tags or new without tags. And this was one of the pieces. This is one of the more basic pieces. These ones were new without tags, and they ended up selling on an offer of $17 that somebody sent me. And my cost of goods for these, because of the big buyout, is less than $1. So that's a really great sale. And these ones only took about a month to sell. I do have read in the description up here, and that is because since these are vintage, the sizing was a little weird. So I wanted to make sure whoever purchased them knew that even though they were labeled as a medium, they should definitely still read the measurements that I have included. And I haven't had any weird feedback come back, so I'm assuming that these fit the person well. Yeah, and these ones only took about a month to sell. They were listed in August. The next one was a really great sale. This is a Lululemon Run Times bra. It is high support, and it was in the size 32 triple D, and it was new with tags. I actually got this from my sister's friend who did a clean out of her closet and just gave me a bunch of stuff. And I will be totally honest, this is the first Lululemon piece I have ever found. There is not a lot of Lululemon around here. I don't even know if you can buy Lululemon around here anywhere. I live in a very rural area. So this was really exciting to have gifted to me, and I ran comps and I ended up listing it for $45. And it sold for my full asking price of $45, and it took about 2 weeks to sell. The next item is something that I literally know nothing about. This is from a hardware clearance buyout that my fiance did. He bought a bunch of clearance items from a hardware store that was trying to get rid of them. So he's only about 30 to 50 cents into each item. And this one was a Hubble Rayco, their pig ground screws. I literally have no idea what you would use these for. I'm sure he knows, and I'm sure some of you know, but for me, I just went by what the label said and put it on, and it ended up selling on an offer of $9, and it was listed back in July. This next piece is a Timberland men's button-up long sleeve. It was from 2002, so it's considered vintage in the size extra large. I bought this when I was still thrifting regularly. I actually source in other ways now, and I can explain that in another future video. I don't go thrifting a lot anymore. I do miss it though. This one I ended up paying $2 for at a thrift store, and it sold on an offer that someone sent me of $12.74. And this one I let go at that price because it was listed back in January, so it's been about 8 months. And just button-down men's shirts in general, I feel like take a while to sell unless people are looking for a specific style, color, or brand. If I were to find this top for free somewhere, I would probably resell it, but I probably would not pay to sell it at $12. All right, the next sale was this pair of men's Adidas Originals Icon Bounce baseball cleats. And my fiance ended up getting these in a free pile, so there's no cost into them. These were listed at $30 and I ended up accepting a best offer of $25. And these ones took a few months to sell. Oh yeah, so they were listed back in July, so only about 2 months to sell. Pretty great sale. The thing about these is that the shipping can be kind of expensive, especially when you're on one of the coasts like I am. However, I share my shipping discount with my customers, so they can save a little bit on shipping and I can get things moved faster. So I was happy to accept that $25 offer on something I got for free. The next piece is this Guns N' Roses women's Y2K graphic t-shirt. It had some embroidery on the front. It's by the brand Swag. I've never heard of that, but I don't think that that's really that important. If you see here, these roses are all embroidered, which I think added to it. It's definitely a Y2K shirt. You can definitely tell it has that style, that aesthetic, and it was fairly washed out as well. So even shirts that you think might not be in the best condition but are Y2K and they have selling factors like that cool graphic and it has the band name on it, I would consider selling them, and that's just me. This one was a size medium, so kind of a smaller size, and I listed this one for $20 and I accepted an offer of $16.99. This one I did get from that vintage store buyout, and it did have a little bit of a flaw right here. So I'm less than $1 in, and this one was listed back in July. The next item to sell was this Reishi night cream. I got 3 of these from a drugstore that was closing in my local area. So they had a huge clearance sale and I ended up making it to the sale on the last day. So they really didn't have much left over. I was pretty sad about that. But the stuff I did get, I was pretty happy with. I ended up getting 3 of these and I paid $2 a piece for them. I listed them at $11 a piece and this one sold for my full asking price of $11. Oh, and it only took about 2 weeks to sell. The next item is this vintage British Mist suede leather vest with this pretty paisley interior print. I got this one from the vintage store buyout as well, so less than $1 in. I listed this one for $30 and it ended up selling on an offer of $21. And this one was listed back in August, so only a few weeks to sell. And here's the back. Super cool design, super pretty, has the tie right here, and it is genuine leather. The next one I contemplated sharing, but I just wanted to put it out there that not all sales are great sales. This is a set of Little Tikes dollhouse kitchen living room chairs. These are the dollhouse ones, not the full-size toddler ones, because I've seen people get confused with purchasing the dollhouse ones thinking that they were getting the full-size toddler ones. These I got in an online estate auction that I won with a bunch of vintage Little Tikes toys in them. I think that these are the last pieces to sell out of that auction lot. These have been listed since November of 2024, so I was super ready for them to go. I listed them at $7.99 and I ended up accepting an offer of $6.79 on these. I'm only about $1 in based on the estate auction, so I was totally fine accepting that offer because I was really ready for them to go. I'm already way in the profit on the whole estate auction lot that I purchased altogether, so that was fine with me. However, these Little Tikes pieces might be something to consider looking out for. I've sold the table and chair set for more and some other pieces for more. I think if I were to find more Little Tikes dollhouse pieces, I would lot them up in bigger lots instead of these smaller ones, but we'll see if that ever happens. This next one is kind of a fun one. This is a Jurassic World Dino Rivals Allosaurus action figure, and there's a button where, it would roar and growl. It did work, and I got this one in an online estate auction as well. This was a more recent purchase, only a few weeks ago. In my last video, I shared that I had bought some Transformers and some Playmobil pieces, and this is from that same lot. This one I listed for $14.99, and I ended up accepting an offer of $11.50. Each lot from this auction that I purchased, the cost of goods is about $1, so $1 into $11, I'll take it, and this was listed back in August. And my last eBay sale was this Kellogg's Collection 1997 men's necktie. It has the different various cereals and the characters from those cereals on this tie. I thought this was just super cute. I got this one in a clean out that we did, so I was absolutely free. And this one was listed back in March. I did not mind hanging on to it for that long because it's so small, it's easy to list, and easy to ship. So that was fine with me. I listed this one at $12.99 and it sold on an offer of $11. Getting into the Poshmark sales, this is a Harry Potter Gryffindor toddler dress-up dress. I got a few of these from a Walmart clearance rack that were marked down to $1 a piece. I listed them at $15 and I ended up accepting an offer of $10 on this one. And this one, they were all listed back in May. This is a Monsoon Silk Blend Orange Summer Dress, and I don't know much about this brand Monsoon. It might be an Anthropologie brand, I'm not sure, but this dress was listed a very long time. This one was listed back in July of 2024. It was one of the older listings that I've had. I was really excited when someone sent me a $13 offer because it was one of those items where I just kept lowering the price and kept sending out offers and nobody was biting. So once someone sent me an offer, I was right on top of accepting it. Excuse me, kitty. And this one I paid, this one I paid $5 for at a thrift store. Would not pay that high for something like this again. But this was back before I was checking comps regularly. So again, it's always just important to understand when in reselling that some styles won't sell quickly, some sizes won't sell quickly. It's just the way it is. But anyway, I was happy that this one finally moved out and it took over a year to sell. This is a J. Jill women's red floral cardigan. And this one I paid $2 for at a thrift store and I ended up accepting an offer of $17. I think I had it listed at $22 originally. Super cute. I considered keeping it for myself, but it was a little bit big on me. And yeah, just a super basic floral piece. This one was listed back in February, so it took about 7 months to sell. And if I hadn't said, I paid $2 for it. And the last Poshmark sale is this Old Navy women's open weave knit sweater. I got this one from a liquidation store that I shop at, and they sell a lot of overstock that are new with tags. So I try to go there maybe once a month, if not every other month, and I make a big purchase. My cost of goods for this one was $5. I only pay that high at this specific store knowing that the new with tags, in-season stuff will sell fast. If I were to find this at a thrift store, I probably wouldn't have paid more than $1 or $2 for it. However, this was a really nice piece. I have some more of these specific sweaters, I think in a different color. I should get those listed. And so I listed this one at $22 and I ended up accepting an offer of $18. And this one was listed back in August, so it only took a couple of weeks to sell. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching my video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want more reselling content and leave a comment below about what your best sale was Labor Day week. I had a pretty slow week, but we just keep moving forward and keep listing and seeing what happens. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day and I'll see you next time.